All right, welcome back, guys. We have a little bit of content left as far as this unit, so let's go ahead and finish central nervous system. So let's go down, all the way to here. What we got left to talk about is the spinal cord. Just got to know a little bit about what it is and what it's involved with, and we'll be all set. Now, a lot of this information on this first slide we've actually seen before. We've seen this back in our previous unit as far as nervous system. So what is the spinal cord made up of? Well, first of all, remember that it is a type of the central nervous system. It's a tissue in the central nervous system. We have two types of tissue, white and gray matter. We learned that already as well. White matter was more useful for sending impulses quickly. Gray matter was more useful for thinking and integrating, right? This is important. Just make sure you understand that the spinal cord is going to conduct things. So it's a two-way path between ascending and descending simultaneously. Just think of a highway. Cars going in one direction and simultaneously cars going in the other direction. It would make no sense if your spinal cord was only like a one-way road. Spinal cord functions as the primary center for all spinal cord reflexes. We talked about that in our previous unit already. Sensory tract and will conduct impulses towards the brain, whereas motor tract is going to conduct impulses away from the brain. It's what we also learned about, right? Sensory versus motor. Sensory sending information towards the central nervous system. Motor sending information away from the central nervous system. Here we're able to see all the spinal cord in its entirety, but also the nerves that belong to the spinal cord. And then we can actually see what it looks like here, which I really like as well. Something to keep in mind. So in regards to the spinal cord, we have some tissue here. This is actually something that we learned back in skeletal systems. So remember when we learned the vertebrae and we said that the mnemonic was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast at 7, lunch at noon, dinner at 5. It's exactly the same thing here, except in the cervical region for the nerves, there are 8 nerves compared to 7 vertebrae. So just keep that in mind, 8 nerves, 7 vertebrae. The 3 regions that we really want to pay attention to especially is cervical all the way through lumbar. We're not going to worry too much about sacral for now. There's some more sacral stuff we're going to talk about on the next slide. But C1, which is cervical 1, found right below your neck or right below your head, it actually has a nickname. It's commonly referred to as Atlas. It has to do with the Greek mythos of like the god who would hold planet Earth on his shoulders. Okay, a little bit more to talk about. You have to understand, what does each region of the spinal cord control? Like, so what is it actually involved with? The good news is what it's involved with is pretty straightforward. Pretty self-explanatory. So for instance, the cervical region, what is it going to control? The cervical region is going to control your head, your neck, select upper body muscles like your deltoid, biceps, triceps, etc. Thoracic region, this massive blue area, what is it going to control? Abdominal muscles and chest muscles. That's expected. Lumbar region, which is lower neck, that's going to help control the leg muscles. So that's going to help to control, or lower back, sorry. That's going to help control the lower extremities, aka your legs. So the general consensus here is that the areas that it's controlling are the areas that it's closest to. The only thing that stands out a little bit weird is sacral. So with regards to sacral nerves, they relay information to the organs that are found near the hips. So that includes, so it's still near, that's still appropriate, but it's near the organ and not the body part in this case. So what is it going to help control? That includes the bowels, which is part of your large intestine, the bladder, sexual organs in both men and women as well. Don't have to worry too much about this, but this is simply talking about how the central nervous system, be it both the brain and spinal cord, have an outer covering. And in that outer covering, you also have fluid. The outer coverings are called meninges, and we're going to talk about that, especially in the next slide. But those fluids are also useful. Those fluids in the brain are referred to as cerebral fluid, and the fluid in the spinal area is going to be referred to as spinal fluid. Those fluids help to conduct that electrical charge even faster, so it's very, very important. But this is the last thing to discuss here regarding the different type of tissue. Let me move this up just a smidge. There you go. So regarding the different types of tissue that we have, the good news is it's really self-explanatory. It's just 3 layers. This won't get too crazy. So surrounding the outermost layer, of course, you see the bone down here. But surrounding the outermost layer in this purple color, that is going to be the dura mater. Then in this pink color, we have the arachnoid matter, which is the middle. And then in the very innermost layer, we have the pia mater. The pia mater is going to be the area that directly touches the spinal cord, which you can see right there. So pretty self-explanatory. You at most you'll get like one question in relationship to this, as far as these layers are concerned. All right. So thanks again for tuning in for this unit for central nervous system. Otherwise, we'll move on and see you in the next set of videos. Have a great one.